Good evening, Flosstube. It is Mandy coming to you with another update. You can find me here on Flosstube or on Instagram as StitchingBee82. If you are new, welcome to my channel about cross stitch. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for returning. I appreciate everyone so much. So this is actually take 2 of this video. We're gonna see if I can get through it. First time around, I suddenly was getting this weird coughing attack, just something, tickling my throat and just wouldn't stop. So I didn't like how that was coming out and having to edit that out. So we'll just film it all again. So, I don't really have a whole lot to show. I've got a couple of whips, a new start, and then I do have a couple things that I wanted to address, just a couple of comments that I figured I'd explain and answer those questions for them. So we'll go ahead and get into the new start. So last night it's coming from this Just Cross Stitch Halloween 2016 issue. While watching Bendy Stitch's live YouTube chat, I went ahead and got this started. It is the Sugar Skull. It's labeled as Sugar Skull pillow, and the artwork is by Brianne Jackson. I showed this last week in my plans, and I'm stitching this on a piece of 16 count Picture This Plus in Monster Mash, and I love it. And there we go. So last night, while listening to Michelle chat, I was playing with the material, like back this way, flipping around this way, going this way, like trying to figure out where I wanted the modeling to go. And so I was liking how this was looking and decided to put that at the bottom. So this, it's just a really quick start that I did last night. I don't think it's even 100 stitches, but I started on the right eye, and this is the, like right here between those eyes. So, and I don't know how well, some light's doing pretty good. It's pretty neon. It's pretty bold, but I love it. So then the next whip that I worked on, and I said this the last time too, it's not necessarily the next, just the next whip I'm going to show. Because the bulk of the work that I did this past week has been on my eagles. So I'm pretty sure I mentioned it last week that I was off work much of last week and much of this week. I did start work back today, I know on a Friday, but saving vacation time, so I got through all of my emails and started to work away on the mess. I don't want to say mess, because I mean, I did have someone helping some coverage for me while I was out of the office, but I mean, doing 2 people's worth of work, her own plus mine, and it sounds like sounds like she got a lot of contacts from the people that I normally deal with directly. So good day though, good day back to work. But the bulk of what I did while I was out was stitched. So like I think I mentioned last week that I went and hung out with my dad, so I was making sure he was fed, and he really just wanted to spend bulk of his time in his room watching TV, napping, I'm sure. And so I just sat and stitched. I watched so much Flosstube. I would really just, I set myself up at my sister's kitchen table and had my Flosstube going and stitching, and I was perfectly content. So the next piece, I'm getting chatty when I said that this would be pretty quick. So the next piece is the Positivity Rules sound from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I did buy the kit, so it is all called for colors. It is DMC and the 16 count pink Ada. So I'll be showing a picture here of the whole piece, but here's where I'm at. So I got Listen, Stitched In, and Smile. So that's about all that I got. It's a good bit of stitching though. Listen is done in 3 different colors, and then Smile is done in 2, and a really pretty pink and a purplish blue. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. So underneath Smile will be the word laugh. Then there will be a door with a wreath. So cute. Beside that, I believe, is the word fun, and then positive. So as of right now, it's looking like, I know last time I've mentioned before that when I first stitched the word share that I did it wrong, and well, I stitched it I missed a stitch, so it set everything else off, and I don't think stitching the rest of it is going to be a problem whatsoever. It's not like there's, you know, the sides of the house with the you know, the bottom that's going to have to line up or anything. I'm making sure to go off of like the word patience. I know patience was in the right spot, so when I started listen, I counted from there rather than off the roof. So perfectly fine. I'm loving this piece. I love the colors, and it's so fun. I know the new Hello Dear came out, and that is looking so cute. I'm probably going to regret not having signed up for that one. The little robin that is in the first spot is so cute. So then the next thing, I guess the only project left to show is going to be Together We Stand by charted by Heaven and Earth, and artwork is by Jody Bergsma. I'll have had a picture here. It's my eagles, my beloved eagles. So last time you saw it, I had finished page 44 and started on page 45, and I've gotten so much progress on this. I would say this was probably the bulk of what I've worked on when I was, you know, stitching away. And so I finished up the flag and then started into the body of this eagle and started stitching this way. So just a couple things to address from comments. I know Rick has commented a couple times that he's just amazed that I don't grid, and I just don't feel like I need to. So this color here is all one color so far, and so I know the symbol started up here, and I just follow where the symbol goes. So I just, you know, started filling in and then just started going through here. I highlight my stitches as I go, and I just kept working my way through here and down here. And so while I know gridding helps a lot of people, and I'm not gonna knock it by any means, to me, I haven't felt the need to. I don't stitch far from where I'm at, so I don't really feel the personal need for it. You know, if I'm gonna go over here, I'm probably not going to jump that far over. You know, I'd probably tie off and then just start over, you know, when I get over there. I'm not jumping over here, so to me, gridding doesn't do, I don't feel like I'm missing out on that and needing that. Sure, there's plenty of, you know, personalizations through here that would gridding have fixed, you know, prevented that from happening? Probably. Am I mad about it? Not at all. With the 213,000 stitches that are in this piece, like I call them personalizations, you know, I don't want to call them mistakes, because they're not messing things up. You wouldn't know that I, you know, did something wrong. So I really enjoy the way I stitch. I will bounce back and forth between confetti areas and some of the larger blocks. Like over in here, you know, when you get into some of these stars where there's so many color changes, yeah, there's going to be a lot of, you know, tying off and starting over again. So then I'll work my way through that for a while, and then I'll come over to here to an area that's got some bigger blocks, and then go back over here, come back, you know, I kind of rotate it. I don't want to say rotate, because I'm not any kind of scientific, I got to do this amount and then this amount. I'll just kind of go how I feel. There's times that, you know, yeah, I'll go ahead and feel like tackling that confetti, and then other times I'm just more in the mood of getting some of that block stitching done. So, and this piece hasn't had a whole lot of actual block stitching, but, I mean, this is, you know, like I said, this is one color, so it wasn't bad to be able to work my way through those. So this is officially the far edge of page 45. So I'm just going to have to fill in that little bit. So I'm definitely working my way through it. So again, my, you know, personal want to finish it by the end of the year. I'm not got a set goal as far as, you know, I'm gonna be mad if I don't get it finished. You know, I'm ready to be done with it. As much as I enjoy stitching it, I'm ready to be done with it. But it'd be nice to not have to carry it over into 21. So then the other thing that other comment that I got, Carolyn Zook asked me to show how I handle all of the material. So I mean, this thing is giant. So basically, I'll center when I'm ready to start a new page. I'll center where I want, best place to put my stitching, where I'll be working at. I used an 11 by 11 Q-snap on this particular project. I do have 8 by 8s, and I have toyed around with combining an 8 by 8 with an 11 by 11. I did not end up with 8 by 11. I measured once that it was more like a 9 by 9. I know there's pieces, extension pieces that make these longer that I guess I just didn't mix them up well enough to make an actual 8 by 11 frame, but I'm not mad about how it turned out. So I'll put the Q-snap in place where I want it, and yes, that's my back. I'll show that up close here in a minute. So I've got all this material, and I do want to show you that the confetti that comes as a result of these large pieces like this, there's Stitches. Say hi. She's so cute. The detail that you get out of having, confetti stitches like that was a lot of color changes, and it was a lot of work. But man, does he look like he's alive. Looks like he's alive. But it's definitely going to be a lot of color changes. You can see I've got a lot of tails there. So basically I'll, when I tie off a color, I'll run it under a couple stitches one way and then back the other way. I know Michelle Bendy has got a word for it, and right now the word is slipping my mind. Fancy term for it. I didn't realize that it had a term. I just stitched. I did learn from a previous full coverage project though to go one way a few stitches and then back the other way, like skipping one stitch, because I've actually had where I only did it the one direction, and then that stitch like came out, and so the tail came out onto the front of the piece. So I had to use a needle or something to get that stitch re-secured before it could be framed. So, okay, so back to Carolyn's question. So again, you can see where my Q-snap's at. So I have the back facing out so that the front side is facing to me, and I'll just roll it up. This is the largest project to date that I have stitched on. I do not have any plans on stitching anything larger than this. Nor does, is there a framing budget allowable? Nor do I have room in my apartment to, hang up anything. I've got one space in my dining room that this is going to probably get hung up. I have no plans on moving anytime soon. And so this will be the largest thing that I have to date. And for the long time. So you can see that I've rolled it up. So you've got that. And so I tend to just, now that I'm getting so much stitched area, I kind of like drape it over the corner of the Q-snap. You can see it's kind of draped over. And so I may have a little bit over here too that I tend to like kind of tuck over and I've just kind of mounted against myself. And I'm, what is it, stab and stick or whatever. So from, one side to the other. I don't have a frame, like a stand, Lowry stand or a lap frame or anything, so I'm just holding on to this, and so that's how I keep it all. So when I had a lot less area stitched, I would, excuse me, I would be able to use, like the hair claws, or I would use peels, those neon color thread hugger thingies. But now I'm just getting so much material that there's no way those kind of things hold that much material anymore. And so that's how I hold that. So I'm definitely excited about doing some smaller pieces, getting this one done. I know I've got 3 other full coverage pieces started at this point that I'm looking forward to being able to tack on those, but it'll be exciting to get the eagles done. So I think I better cut this off here. I'm starting to feel that tickle coming back. I don't know what's going on. So, but I hope everyone is doing well. Stay safe and keep stitching. I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.